Okay, I had no idea she was serious about this song. So we're about to. Apparently, Kenya Moore was serious about this Gone with the Wind Fabulous song, and she performed it on Watch What Happens Live, and I didn't get a chance to see it. So we're about to watch it. So get into it. That's her. Her hair is done. You say I'm fake. I say I'm fabulous. You say I'm old. I say I'm fabulous. You say I'm ghetto. I say I'm fabulous. She has a lot of stage presence. I say I'm fabulous. I'm going to win 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 fabulous. Now swirl, swirl, swirl. And she had the head of kids in the background swirling. You say I'm broke. I say I'm fabulous. You say I'm single. I say I'm fabulous. You are single, clearly. You say I'm ugly. I say I'm fabulous. Now I'll give her that. I can't call her ugly. She's gorgeous. I'm sure there'll be what you call the little layouts thing somewhere in here. The little Vogue dip. There it is. I knew it was going to happen. So, yeah. She's gone with the Wind Fabulous, I guess. At least Tardy for the Party had words. This was just like, blank, 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 I'm fabulous. Blank, 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 I'm fabulous. So at least Tardy for the Party actually had words. I'll give Kim Zolciak that. However, I do feel like I'm going to be jamming to that song for the rest of the week. I'm totally over this face shit. Okay, that's what I have to tell y'all because today I had the day from Lucifer's house. I was so annoyed that I had to cuss out a bus driver. I got attacked by campus security essentially, and it was just a shitty ass day. So let me just tell y'all from the start. Here we go, and I'm gonna run through this really quickly because I don't want this story to be like 10 minutes long. So I went to buy my books for school, right? Or I went to buy a book for school like last week. It was a math book. And the man at the bookstore convinced me that this was the correct book. So I was like, okay, you work here, you should know. I even went back to double check because I looked online and the little website said there was a different book. So I went back again the next day to make sure, and he would convince me again that this was the correct book. So I get to class today, and teacher says, open your books to page 356. I have my books to 356, and we're on quadratic functions, and my book says we're on exponents. So I'm like, clearly those aren't the same things. So I'm looking at the girl next to me. I'm like, can I see the front of your book? And she flips in. Clearly, there's two different books. So I'm pissed. So I'm like, okay, I've lost my receipt. I can't go return this book. So I'm going to go to the bookstore and find somebody in the math section who needs this book and sell it to them, which is, I believe, soliciting, which might be illegal. May or may not be. But I didn't care. I was mad. I needed my money from this book, and I wasn't going to get it back from the bookstore. So I just said, fuck it. I'll go in there and sell it. So I'm in the bookstore. Mind you, I had to buy my own new book. So I got my own new book. And I'm just standing around the math section waiting on someone to come past who needs this book that I'm trying to sell. I had it in a binder. Because, you know, I give you the loose leaf book for cheap. So I bought that one, and I had it in my 5-star binder. Very nice binder, too, at that. So I'm just standing around, so the campus security man, I guess he notices that I'm just standing there. And he comes and asks, do I need any help? And I was like, no, you know, I'm just waiting for a friend to come. And 30 minutes later, I'm still standing there. And he comes back and he says, your friend still hasn't come yet? I was like, look, you want to know the truth, sir? I'm trying to sell this book. I know this might be illegal or soliciting, but I need to sell this book. So he was like, you know you can't do that, right? When I tell y'all, I hit it out of that store, I was gone. I ran like the wind. I was going with the Wind Fabulous. I had to go because he was going to lock me up. I didn't know. Look, I wanted my money. I feel like I'm entitled to my money because your dumb ass sold me a book and you told me it was the right book and now I find out it's not. So I can't get my money back because I have a receipt. So you're going to give me my money. Somebody's going to give me some money. I was going to sell it for cheap, like $50. That's all I needed. That would have been enough to fill in my gas tank and give me some food on the way home. I would have been fine. But that was one story for the day. Now, on to the bus driver who pissed me off. So I did the parking ride today. You know, you park your car, get on the public transportation or whatever. So that's what I did. So I parked my car, got on the... So I get home. I'm on my way home. I decided to ride the bus back because it's right there by my car on a little alleyway or whatever. So I get off. I'm getting ready to get off the bus. Now, I know this isn't a bus stop, okay? I completely understand that. I don't know what the fuck RTA bus drivers been drinking ever since that girl got Hadouken. They just think they is just all that about it and the shit. So I politely, because I have manners and ethics, walked to the bus driver and asked him because there's a bus stop right on the corner. There's not a bus stop right on the corner. The bus stop was like maybe 500 feet or less behind this corner. So I politely asked him, it's not an intersection, not dropping me off in the middle of the street, not nobody driving, nothing. I politely asked him, excuse me, sir, do you mind letting me off the bus here? You know, my car's right there. I'm going to get my car from the parking lot. He turned and looked at me and said, this ain't no stop. And kept looking forward. So I had a conversation with myself. I was like, Darrell, keep calm. Trey was ready to go off. I was like, Trey, have a seat. Dre was already there. I was like, DeAndre, pause. Let Darrell handle this. So I was like, well, I understand that, sir. That's why I politely asked you, would you mind letting me off the bus here? So this is when all four of us jumped on his ass. He was like, well, if you knew this wasn't a stop, why would you ask me to let you off here? In 3, 2, 1, all four of us just went in. I was like, bitch, are you going to let me off the bus or not? That's all I need to know. Because I didn't ask for this extra combo. I didn't ask if this was a stop. I know it's not a stop. Clearly, it's not a goddamn sign right there. So I just want to know, are you going to let me off the bus? So he was like, I really don't have to let you off the bus. Technically, I'm not allowed to. I was like, oh, no, technically, you are. Because if I politely ask you, you have a choice. You can say yes or no. Why you would say no would just decipher whether you're a douchebag or not. But I'm not in the street. You're not in the intersection. You can let me off if you really want to know. How do I know? Because I know someone who works for RTA. So don't come for me. So he's driving all the while I'm reading his ass. And finally he gets to the next stop and opens the door. So I just got off and was like, fuck this hoe. And then I was pissed. He pissed me off. And then all of us came back down. We were all back down to normal as we walked to our car. But yeah, it was just a shitty ass day. And I just thought I'd come and tell you guys about it before I talk about all this other stuff. So here we go. That's it. And it's warm up here.